Christian, you can probably hear the sound of a siren. There's a lot of security here. And the last few protesters, anti-Netanyahu protesters, have just gone past. He is now in the Congress addressing it. Let's hear what he had to say.
America and Israel must stand together. Because when we stand together, something very simple happens. We win, they lose.
Now, those are his best friends and the people who are going to give him the best reception here. He has to see Joe Biden, who supports Israel but doesn't like Netanyahu and is in any way a lame duck president now. He's going to Mar-a-Lago to see Trump, who would be president again. He also doesn't like Netanyahu because Netanyahu acknowledged that Biden had won the last election. And he's going to see Vice President Kamala Harris. Her praise, can I put it like that, of Netanyahu has been less than fulsome.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free,
The pro-Palestinian protesters were out several hours before Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's address to Congress.
Hands off the Middle East!
With a message for Kamala Harris that President Biden has resisted throughout the war in Gaza.
Palestine will be free!
If Kamala Harris became president, what would you want her to do?
I'd want her to stop funding Israel, stop sending them money, and then we stop the war.
It's very hard to resist the system, and she doesn't have the strength to stand up to the system. It's very hard to steer it.
Do you think Kamala Harris will have a different policy on Israel to Joe Biden?
I doubt it. I've already seen her massive support for Israel, so unfortunately I don't see how that view is going to magically change.
Last night, Jewish protesters against Israel occupied part of the capital, the heart of government. Several were arrested. The killing of 39,000 Palestinians in Gaza by the Israeli military with US support and weapons has sparked fury on the American left.
The people are rising, rising for Palestine Jews!
Today, the Israeli Prime Minister was with the Republican House Speaker, both keen to show how close the friendship between them.
And the people of Israel, thank you for giving us this opportunity to express our common alliance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Netanyahu is a frequent visitor to the US, but this is the first time he's addressed Congress since the Hamas attack on Israel last October. Vice President Harris is expected to meet him later in his visit. She has had to co-own President Biden's policy of full-throated support for Israel.
Let there be no doubt, the United States has Israel's back.
But her position is slightly different, which may help her politically now.
He lost young voters, he lost black voters, he lost Latino voters, and obviously it goes without saying, Arab Americans, he was hemorrhaging voters in terms of support from the Arab American community. We saw that play out in multiple states.
What we are seeing every day in Gaza is devastating. We have seen reports of families eating leaves or animal feed, women giving birth to malnourished babies with little or no medical care.
Her tone has been notably different.
Well, she was the highest level administration official to call for a ceasefire prior to President Biden coming out of the race. She has, in her language, frankly, just suggested a level of understanding and empathy towards Palestinians that had not come from other officials.
Now, as she starts her campaign for the presidency to the sound of Beyoncé's Freedom, Harris has a choice. She can adopt a more traditional pro-Israel position, which would secure some important donors. Or she could reach out to a more progressive part of the electorate in the hope of re-engaging voters alienated by her predecessor.